Next, what we're going to do is we're going to put on the brand
Wow,
pins.
welcome back
Look at them, and you want to make sure
to
you can tell the
Iron
flat
Ghost
side,
Garage.
side. You turn it this way, you also have a flat side.
My name is
So
Jack.
off on the side. Out the
Iron
way
Ghost
from the road.
Garage. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Away from the,
God bless. Working back on this 2011 Ford Edge. I was on it last night, but got a bad caliper on it. So I had to go get one today at Napa, Monona, Iowa. Thank you, Napa Nate, Todd, everybody at Napa. They helped me along here, so what we're gonna be doing is I gotta put some bolts back in this thing here. I'm gonna try and get this caliper bracket off right here.
Now we're going to go back to our old caliper. The reason for that is because we need to
I'm not sure if it's
right here. This is a vibration dampener. You're going to have it on the new caliper. So remove it, grab right here with some pliers.
spring loaded, and I don't really like messing with that part. Anyway, we're gonna put it back on for a second.
What we're going to do is we're going to wait on this portion. Screw this one down. Just want to show you what it's for. Let's go back over to the vehicle. So let's get our caliper bracket mounted on here. We're going to bottom these right out.
Any idea what
Manufacturer specifications. 98 foot pounds.
this is gonna be a little different. I don't
Caliper.
my damn channel locks vanished in the damn air.
You have your bracket and your brake cable. We're going to pull the caliper to the point.
Whatever they would do. I'm not sure.
Slides right through. Awesome. So now's the time to put in your pads. We're actually going to
Oh.
personally. But for the purpose of the video, we're only showing you how to do the caliper. But the process for putting in the pads, continuing on from here, will be the same whether you're using old or new. Beautiful. That should slide around nice and easy. We're going to take our caliper and slide it right over the top of this. Next, we're going to take our two caliper mounting bolts here and start those into the caliper side. Locking those out and it's working down to manufacturer's specifications. Torque piece is 19 foot pounds. Torqued, torqued. Now let's remove our caliper band. Should have two copper washers on it. These are actually the gaskets. Double check your hose. Make sure it's clean. And there's no actual original gasket on there. This looks great. I'm going to take my benzo bolt with on my gasket.
Sorry, Gord, give me a fan.
Gasket on the other side. It's important to pay attention to this number right here. It needs to go into the mounting hole that's inside the caliper. That's going to hold it secure so it can't spin around. We'll get this started and then we'll snug it up. Let's snug it up. Alright, bottom down. Let's get a little extra here. We'll put on this vibration dampener. We're going to come back up to vibration here right forward.
Not sure I did it.
Hand protection, eye protection still. We've got our quarter tucking under there. Move the brand new boot. You want to make sure you save this. You don't use it, of course. So we're letting them under the wrench. Now we're just going to watch it and we're going to pay attention to the fluid that's coming out. Once it comes out, it's slowly straight and there is very many air bubbles. We'll close it up and then we'll continue with manual boot. So we need to remove our brake fluid cover. We're going to add some. As you can tell, I'm moving reservoir around. We'll add some dot brake to be able to maximum line and then we can continue. Okay, so now we're going to continue with our braking process. It's important to remember that there is a manufacturer-specific sequence you should go in. So of course you should refer to your manual for that. Assuming you're only replacing this caliper, we're going to start. First what we need to do is pump up the brakes until the pedal is semi-firm. Okay, once we have 3 good pumps, we're going to hold it. Now I'm going to open up and unscrew my 11mm wrench. Here's the air come out of there. Close it. We're going to give it another 3 pumps. Alright, now we're going to open it up again. We're going to watch for some fluid. It's looking good. As you see all those spurts, That's air coming out. We need to pay attention to make sure we have a constant flow of solid fluid in the air. Can you close this? And we're gonna do it again. 3 pumps, please.
I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna need. There's a clip on here.
Once again, please. Air bubbles. You need to pay attention to those air bubbles. Everyone counts, and it's going to make a difference between having a solid brake pedal and a sponge brake pedal. Keep going until we have no air bubble. Okay, so let's clean up our mess. Let that dry. Reinstall your bleeder screw cover.
There we go.
Let's reinstall our wheel.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Of course, start all the lug nuts.
Come on.
Bottom off these lug nuts.
Here.
Now we'll torque them down to manufacturer specifications. Okay, so now let's torque these to manufacturer specifications, which is 100 foot-pounds.
This little emergency brake caliper right here. This clip. Let's see if I can show you better. This clip, you might not, it spins on this piece of plastic right here. Spins on that. You won't be able to remove it without removing this clip. So you see what it looks like. Little metal clip. It just keeps this from moving. What it does is it slides over the wire through the little gap right there, and it fits over the top of this, and it keeps the cable from coming off the emergency brake. So we're going to remove the emergency brake now. I'll put you back up here on the thing. You can see me, I don't know. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to Iron Ghost Garage. Thank you. God bless. I've never done these brakes before. It's been a challenge. It's got dampener, Torx bit T30. Remove it. Now, I'm hoping I can pop this right off. Now, if I can put it on here, I'm sure it's going to be a big thing. I hope that's the case. This cable, this brake cable, if you just pull it forward as far as you can, it'll pop right out of the hole via this wire in this slot. No. To get it off the brake caliper, you're going to have to remove it from the thing. And I'm going to have to remove the other little brake line. Right here, I might want to leave these on for a second. I can get that broke free. Get that brake line broke free. Instead of taking it apart, I want to break the brake line free first. Yeah. And don't know if I can get the side. Or, I mean, it's going to be like a master mechanic said. Let's get everything right. This garage is a disaster. So non-stop on cars, tractors, everything you think of under the sun here. And it's a disaster, folks. It really is. Yes.
Okay friends, let's get started on this right rear caliper. First what we need to do is remove our 19mm lug nuts.
12 millimeter is the
Safely remove your wheel.
brake caliper.
Next what we're going to do is we're going to follow the emergency brake cable and you're going to find this bracket. Remove this 10mm headed bolt. So next what we're going to do is we're going to remove this banjo bolt. The banjo bolt has brake fluid inside, or it's coming through the brake hose into the caliper. So you want to make sure you have hand protection, eye protection, and of course the collection.
There we go.
Break that
That's a
through.
little easier.
Bring it up just barely, so it's not leaking. We're going to do the same thing to the caliper slider bolts. To do that, I'm going to use my 13mm. Just break it free, right here. Break it free. Perfect. Let's remove this lower caliper slider bolt here.
Take the emergency brake caliper on.
And remove the pads. Let's put this back in a few good threads so we make sure we don't slip it out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the e-brake cable from the caliper. So when you look at the emergency brake cable, you're going to notice that it has like these little forks on it. There's 3 of them. You can try to either pinch them down with some pliers like this, which might prove to be difficult, or you can use the tool that's actually made for the job, which is a circle. It has a little slot in it. That's so you can slide it over the cable, and then it goes up and it pinches into those clips. At this point, you should be able to grab your cable, give it a tug, and pull it up and out of the bracket, just like that. We'll take this off of here. So next we're going to remove our caliper mounting bolts. To do that, you're going to use your 15mm socket.
And we'll be extra.
Move that in. Move up to this one. There it is. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be opening up the brake system. So you're going to be drawing your caliper hose pinchers.
Brake caliper, the rest of the way.
Of course, first and
15mm.
Keep away from your brakes.
15mm.
Brake free. And this is my glove hand, of course, because I don't want to get any brake fluid on my skin. It's very bad for your skin. There we are. Fluid's going to come out.
I believe it's 15mm.
Okay, so we brought our caliper over to the bench because we need to prep it. And you know that.
It's 15mm.
Off the caliper slider bolts here. And separate the 2 pieces. Caliper portion.
Half-inch drive is probably the best to use. Better than using a quarter. Make it a little bit easier.
We'll start with the bracket. It's important to remember that these are caliper sliders.
3/8.
Okay, and you need to be able
It's got standard and metric
to open it up.
sizes.
Make sure there's a grease, which there is. But
That was a 12mm for the brake caliper bracket.
slide up on there.
Uh, these were 15s.
Same the other one. We're
Or
going to continue with the
13s.
grease. Right along
Or
this
no,
area
not
right
these.
here.
Top one was a T30 on the bottom.
Next what we're going
And
to do is we're going to put on these brand new tins that we got. You want to take a look at them. And you want to make sure that the
3/8
flat side and the
what was it,
Turn it
3/8?
this way. You also have a flat side and a hook side. So the hook that's off on the
12
side,
mi-
you
12
see out
millimeter,
away from the road,
13,
and the side that hooks
12,
up,
a
that's away
15,
from the bottom of the caliper bracket.
and a T30. That's what you're going to need for tools
Right
to
there
get
in
the
there.
brake caliper
Just
off
like that.
with the
We're going to
bracket.
do the same for all the rest. Alright. Just make sure you clean up any grease that might be staying along the inside here. Move along to the muscle. You have the piston area. And of course these areas. Those are the areas that are
Get this
gonna
thing
be
hooked up to
tab.
some air.
Make sure you put a little bit of lubricant on those. And that's going to help with vibration dampening in this camera.
Give me a second. I have.
Alright, let's set this portion of the caliper aside. Now we're going to go back to our old caliper.
Got
The
it.
reason for that is because we need
Get
to
that
take off
air
this
hose ready.
right here. This is a vibration dampener.
We're going to use air on this thing as much as we can, anyways.
With some pliers.
My air compressor. I get a big air compressor. Got to get hooked up.
Music Diary, Grand Doubles of 50 tastes.
Tide used to test. Makes it ruin your feet. Try Tide. It's boosted. The other guy can't match Tide's boosted clean. So, looks like you passed. It's cleaner, whiter, brighter, and fresher. It's got to be Tide. New Air White. 7 transporting nutrients. Our most complete support yet.
Wow. I'm hoping like hell. I can get these off without any problems here.
Jump in my new e-reader. I found it on cars.com.
Gotta get some levers here. Gotta have some leverage on the leverage. Ain't a mess over here. Right, like that. Stuff wrap.
Grab that hose, put it through.
Right up with the razor. Where is that spring? I'm telling you what. Come on.
So let's remove our bridge screwdriver here. We're going to be reusing it, so we'll decide some place to find it. So next we just want to do a brake lead.
When I need you, you're fucking out. Spray.
We'll add some dot brake to get up to maximum line.
Fucking spray.
Okay, so it's time to continue with our bleeding sequence. It's important to remember that there is a manufacturer-specific bleeding sequence for this vehicle. You want to look that up to make sure you're doing it in the proper order. Assuming right now we're only doing this caliper for some reason, you notice a pair. We're going to start here. To do that, I'm going to ask somebody to pump up the brakes 3 times. You please pump up the brakes 3 times. On the third pump, they're going to hold that brake pedal, and we're going to open up this bleeder screw. Watching for air and fluid. See all those little bubbles? That's the air.
Oh, I hope that didn't break off. Hope this some is ain't breaking
We're
off.
going to have the person pump again, please.
Holy shit. Come on,
And
get
keep
on
watching
there.
this. We want to wait until we see a solid stream of fluid with no air bubbles. Go one more time. As you saw, we had a steady stream of fluid
damn.
coming out, and we had no air bubbles.
Oh, excuse my language. PG-13, excuse my language.
Around your system. One air bubble will make
I said, God damn, I should not say that word ever.
Once you
Excuse my language.
you want to make sure that you continue pumping the brakes
When it gets-
until it's firm.
Well, there's no excuse. Bottom line. I love God, so. Bottom line.
We'll check our brake fluid. We'll check maximum load. Right, so it's time to clean down our mess.
tracker is on there.
Now we'll put these down to manufacturer's specifications.
15 meter bolt. Bashed my head a couple times on that sucker. Extremely hard to get out with the lock tight from the factory or something, or maybe I don't know who put that on, but that was on there hard. One more on the top. Hopefully this one goes easier.
So, back on the app, I thought you were gonna meet people online. Never again. I meant Zillow. Look at this cutie. And Zillow again. Check out that bathroom. Very good.
When it's so hard, you have to do brute force when air don't take it off. I don't have a very there. I got a big earth brush, but it ain't hooked up yet. I got a big one on the side of the garage. Big one, like an industrial one. Not industrial. Shop one for sure. I just ain't hooked it up yet. I'm gonna be getting it hooked up. By next summer it'll be hooked up for sure. I have everything. Got a hole, all that stuff soon. Lock tight on it. The brake caliper is off. That's the top though. Got lock tight on it. Or find out shouldn't use those bolts, but
Holy smokes, you guys, I did not expect that thing to happen to this 2006 F-150 XLT Triton motor engine on the Ford. Oh my, it got me. The customer had stated vibration while driving. They drove this thing here and parked it. So naturally, I wanted to recreate said vibration. And what we had thought was that the rear differential had like a bad bearing or a nasty pinion bearing, similar to that F-150 that we had in here a few weeks ago that needed a rear end rebuild on it. I thought that's what happened or what was going on. It did not even occur to any of us that the drive shaft was falling apart and eating itself alive. Fortunately, it's got a slip yoke on the two-piece shaft and the rear side didn't fall out. For the rear side, and the front side didn't fall out, and even more fortunately, it didn't happen 30 seconds prior to getting into the parking lot after I test drove this. Now, like I said, they drove this thing in here, so we had minimal fear that this thing was going to grenade and explode and destroy itself, but it did. So, looks like we're going to use this drive shaft. I need to go ahead and figure out how to get this thing into the building. We're going to push it in and then set up the rack real quick so we can get a better look at what's going on with this harness down here. So what I'm going to do, we're going to strap this piece of the drive shaft back up with a ratchet strap and then we're going to push this thing inside. We're going to use the Caterpillar skid steer over there. That's kind of overkill to push the car. We got 3 of them here so we can just manually push this thing in. So let me get this thing ratchet strapped up. We're going to get this truck on a lift here and see if anything else was damaged in that little event that took place. Stay tuned. This right here is going to be a very good video. Just wow. This is not how I intended to start this project here. You were going to put it together? Yeah, I figure we can just push it. I don't know if those are going to go together that hard. They could have a master spline room. But this is not how I saw this repair going. I thought it was in the biz, man. And that's why, like I was saying yesterday, I don't usually test drive stuff without looking at it first. And I broke my rule, and look what happened. Flipping drive shaft falls out. You got a full procedure. There's a reason to it. Okay, we're ready to kind of get this thing back inside where we keep. What we're going to do here, put it in neutral, restart the engine. I've got the parking brake on because without the drive shaft there, the parking car in transition, you can't stop it from rolling back. But we're going to fix this thing in pizza delivery woman.
Ow, god dang it, I stabbed myself.
We gotta put something in, and then we'll come get some
Oh man, that was a pretty good one there.
Great.
Stabbed myself. Pretty good there. Trying to get this damn. Damage this thing. Alright, cut myself.
Alright, I think we're there.
Be alright.
A little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. Boom, right there. We got it. Let's shut it down.
Ow.
Oh, let it go, God. Truck is cursed.
At the top.
There we go. Fixed it. Okay, we have some rack set. It's going on up. Take a peek at the furniture here in a minute when we get all the way up in the air. The drive shaft don't fall out. The front side's not fall out, yeah. Alright, well, going down below, clearly we can see the drive shaft fall out. Broke the boot on the way out of it. That's all shattered up. And here's our point of failure right here. See this 2-piece drive shaft, and it's supposed to have a carrier bearing that kind of holds that together. That guy's supposed to hang out up here. And it has fallen out, clearly, which is why we almost ruined this entire vehicle. If this had happened at speed, we'd be looking at a whole different set of carnage here, because this thing would have been flopping around more than it already was. It would have broke the tail shaft back in the transmission. We've seen that before. Fortunately, the shaft just started falling out of it, and I think we just kind of screwed up the seal right here, so we're going to throw a seal in it. Fuel tank took a couple hits here and there. The shield took most of it, so no major damage there. No wiring harness here. So there's no damage to that. A little bit up here on that, not a big deal, nothing structural. The exhaust is good. And out back, we're good over here as well. Yeah, we had no damage here. So what we need to do is unbolt this drive shaft from the rear yoke here, and we'll pull out the slip yoke there. I'm going to go ahead and recommend that we just get a new unit, because this one has suffered catastrophic failure. Yeah, I realized it was partially at my hand, but at the same time, I had no idea, guys. I didn't know this was going to happen. We thought it was inside of here. That's what it sounded like, and plus, like I said earlier, they drove this thing in, so I did not expect that to happen. What I need to do to determine which drive shaft is in this is I've got to pull this differential cover off, which is part of what the customer requested, was to inspect the rear axle fluid. So I need to pull this cover off because there should be an engraving on the side of the differential carrier inside, and that engraving is going to tell us the diameter of the ring gear inside of here. And that is what's going to influence which drive shaft, out of the 3 different part numbers that are available, which drive shaft is going to be the one. So we need to get a hold of a 13mm socket and a little picky impact gun here, and we're going to pull that cover off to see what size. The socket, there we go. We're going to see what size axle this guy is. Oh, to find ourselves out the differential cover. So we're going to pull this cover off for inspection. It's a 13mm bolts and a socket. Run around and get this guy loose.
The main bolts, the main big bolts that hold the bracket to the brake caliper on are 15mm. 15mm.
That could have hurt real bad.
Easier to get it with a deep well.
Looming.
Don't have a lot of room.
Trying to injure your fancies. We're leaving the top one in. Sorry to talk about. Leave the top one in. That way when we crack the seal, it doesn't just fall off and then Niagara that nasty fluid everywhere. So we'll leave that cover there to kind of provide some controlled resistance for the fluid downfall. Make sense? It does to me. Now that we have all the fasteners loose here, what I'm going to do is get behind this cover with a little pry bar. And your impact driver. This is the major one. We're just going to drive this in behind the cover.
easier to cinch them down with this, and then I torque them in a minute. Torque wrench out here. And gotta get the torque specs here in a minute too, but I don't remember what they are.
Okay. I think this is the 8.88, not the 9.75. Okay, so it's an open differential, meaning it's not a limited slip. Or is it? There might be some places back there. I can't really tell. I think it's an open diff. Yeah, that's open diff. We're not getting any positive track action here. The bases of the tires look very dirty here. It's nice clean red. So over here on the side, you should find a stamping or engraving on it that tells us the diameter. It's in there somewhere. The 9.75 had it. And I'm not seeing. I don't see it anywhere. Perhaps that's on this side? Negative. We're gonna have to just measure it the old school way with a tape measure. Okay. Yeah, let's try this here. What we'll do is we're gonna eyeball this as close as possible. This is a 8.8. 8.88. Right there, we're at the top. And coming down using my micrometer, we got the 9-inch mark right here. And the edge is slightly, this is a 8.8. That's the drive shaft that we need. Okay, so next, I need to measure, because we know that's the 8.8, we need to measure the wheelbase of this vehicle. So when you measure the wheelbase, you go from the center of the axle to the center of the other.
Emergency brake.
Usually go up front to
Got have this clip so it don't come off. Mess up your emergency brake.
stretch it back. And our wheelbase.
Like I said, there's a little gap.
In the middle there, Dave.
You see a little gap right here? See if I can get my light on it. Right here. That gap goes through the wire. Like this. On the front side of the caliper. Or the back side of the caliper, I should say, to the rear of the car. You slide it over the cable in the back. And then after you get it over there, you push it up on top. Push it over.
Pull that guy
Push it all the way over.
See how this U-joint is.
Yeah. Right over here and get it
Feels a little
all the way up on there.
through here.
Snaps in the spot.
Feels good, but it feels a little
And that
tough.
keeps the brake, emergency brake from going anywhere.
That's out of the way.
Alright, now I have to remove these ear bolts.
Turn around here and get this
15 millimeter.
connector from the system. I need
And
a
13. 13 millimeter.
5-line socket.
15 for the bracket bolts to tighten down to the actual knuckle or whatever in the back. Not the actual knuckle. Yeah, maybe the actual knuckle. I don't know what the hell the heck that thing is called. And with the bracket, since it's down to that, that's 15 millimeter. This is 13 millimeter. Ratchet wrench works good for the right here. So I gotta take these off.
It's a lot easier to take apart with the drive shaft in half.
Take these off so I can swing the caliper over.
Got a ratchet strap still holding up behind us. Okay.
I'm thinking I have to take them both off because
Everything's a hammer.
I have to take both of them off. Yes, because
See that? Why did fluid fall out of this? Yeah. Or if the seal got boogered up in there too. Tight that.
I can get that.
Well, that one's destroyed. Yeah, it's leaking.
That's
Never
good.
seen one do that. How's it leaking
This
through. Oh, you know what? I think that these axle nuts had a recall on them where there was a sealant on the back side of the nut because fluid was coming down the splines and then leaking out. And I think the recall was to replace the nut. I think we'll have to do that in order to make this thing not leak. And it's been leaking, but it wasn't leaking out.
Yeah, I put the squeakers on.
Yoke bolted onto
These
it
things always give me a problem.
Steel right here. You know,
And
it all
depending on how hard they
recall or service goals or something like that. The Ford guys will know better than I. They did the recalls on them. That's what I was that was weird. Didn't expect to find that either. I wonder what other jewels of mystery this thing has in store for us in the future. Let's see. Spin around up here. Left of the carrier bearing bracket or misfit bearing for that shaft. So now we need to get that thing unbolted. We need to get the hardware back, and then that'll complete
These are going on fairly simple.
Dave and Justin are out back taking off the rear brakes because the customer wanted to take a look at the parking brake shoes. I guess because the parking brake is ineffective. Okay, let's try this with a 13 out of 12. Dave, this gun hits, man.
Come on.
Nasty.
Come on.
Okay. So that piece of the piece has been removed. I don't know where the remaining section of this is. I can't tell if it's freshly broken off or if it's been broken off for a while. Some pretty nasty shape. Very corroded. The metal has obviously become fatigued from the grooving. Has this ever happened to you guys? Let me know. Comment section down below. Did your drive shaft ever fall out? Didn't stay where it's supposed to? You lost your shaft? I'd like to hear about it in the comment section. Let's go move back up front. I'm going to pluck out this tail shaft seal right here. And get this guy removed. Okay, so we're going to get this seal out of here in a similar fashion to how we pop the differential cover off. We're just going to get behind the ring of it with a little mini fryer driver.
Alright, and we're gonna put some grease on.
And we're going to
It's always grease. Good to
seal.
Grease the sliders with some grease.
Fall right out.
That's some dielectric grease. It works just as
Get that one
good.
very sharp chisel.
We're gonna corrode them.
Chisel. And you want to tap away from the aluminum
Doesn't matter how
housing,
much
so
glue,
you don't gouge up and booger up that
those-
housing.
These things. I'll show you on the old
That'd
one.
be bad.
Well, needs to be replaced. I mean, replaced, but greased up. So, on the old bracket, it's the same way as the new ones.
Come out.
Right here where the brake
Space there, I can get along.
pads set, they got to slide back and forth without any obstructions. It's like these bolts right here got to slide back and forth with no obstructions too. You should always make sure these are greased up if you're going to reuse these calipers. You should always make sure these are greased up. And like I said, where the brake pad rides inside there, you need to have those greased up too. As a rule of thumb, that'd be the best thing to do. That's done. Brake pads. Brand new brake pads. Right here, gonna go on. That's it down.
I use MailChimp my marketing. MailChimp my marketing with AI to create a hyper-personalized campaign in minutes.
I just MailChimp my orders by 7 times using real-time behavior data. I decided SMS
Slide
my
these
multi-channel
through.
marketing campaign. Done.
Sliding through. Like that.
Now, my ROI is to the MailChimp through.
Brake. Caliper on.
Got safety protocols? Granger has the Safety Pros 2 call.
Shop our fast and
And then take the new bolt.
Just stop by. Granger for the ones who
The
get
new bolt, the new bolts that it comes with new bolts for the thing that with this.
down there, all that rust. Next item was the parking brake shoes.
That one started at the bottom.
Pulled off the rear rotors while we were working with the shaft over there. And we had located
And those are
the parking brake drum shoes.
13 millimeter, like I
And these
said.
guys are, for lack of a better term, destroyed. They're about as good as shape as that Caliper was. You hear this? Delaminated, friction material. It's all pitted and coming apart. It's super nasty. Let's poke it with a screwdriver and see what happens. Got a little pocket driver in here. Here we go. Let's give that a couple pokey pokes. Yeah, it's just flaking right off. There's nothing left. A big old chunk missing right over here. More chunks. Yeah, that's the metal backing plate right there. And this is pretty much all that's left of the shoe material. So we need to set parking brake shoes. That's coming off right there. Give me a little more. It's all there. So yeah, we got some steel there.
Last thing we got to do
Material here. Let's
is
check the other side.
put this on here.
This is not as horrible as the driver's side, but it's still pretty junk.
Got a washer on the top and the bottom. A brand new one. You do not use the same crush washers.
Bunch of wear right
They come
here.
with new ones. If you buy a caliper, do not reuse the crush washers.
Inside of the
They're not
doors.
reusable.
What we have here, we got a drum inside the disc. And it's kind of crusted. Not looking that great. Minimal contact area on the inboard pad. You guys see that? All that rust? Okay. And our actual brake pads, those are kind of okay, with the exception of the wear pattern due to the rust. See that inboard right there? You can see where the rust was encroaching on the friction material and causing uneven wear. Unfortunately, I'm going to recommend some rotors and some service pads to go with this.
Make sure that's right too.
Yeah, I hate to put or get rid of those pads. They're really thick,
Little small.
but they're not worn very evenly. Let's just get these fronts to do this heat real fast. See how those are looking. I see a lot of pad material. Yeah, the rotors are all looking okay. I'm not really concerned about the fronts. Anything else that's staring at me in the face here that needs some TLC? Not particularly. Okay, so I got a shaft seal coming. Took a look at that bushing in there. That looks pretty good. It's not destroyed or annihilated from the flip-flopping event, so we don't have to put a tail shaft bushing in it, I don't think. Unless it leaks. If it leaks, then we'll have to put a bushing in it, but I think we're okay. This one over here, I'll get the axle nut for it. And we seal that guy. Then I'm going to recommend parking brake shoes with some rear pads and rotors. And obviously some new fluid for the differential. I believe this is a 75-140 weight oil. So I'm going to go get all this stuff built up in the estimate and ready to give the guy a call and see what we're going to do with this particular 06 Ford F-150. Alrighty, it's the next day. Actually, it's the next week because I filmed this on a Friday and it's now Monday. On Monday, and it's going to be F-150 rebuild Monday because the customer has approved all recommended repairs and I have made the appropriate part order prior to the weekend. We have here a set of power stop parking brake shoes. We have rear brake pads. I have a pair of rear brake rotors, also power stops. And below that, I have a box containing the shaft. So we should have everything that is needed with the exception of the parts to fix the axle nut. We can fix the little bit of a leaker right back here behind the that pinion nut. What I'm going to do here is we're going to go ahead and pull this pinion nut off of here. I'm going to pull the flange off, pop the seal out. We're going to change the seal.
19 for the lug nuts.
Pinion nut right there, and that should be sufficient to satisfy that leak.
15 millimeter
I don't know if it really was
for the caliper bracket that bolts to the axle.
Anyway, here's what we're really looking for. In the big old box,
And a
we have
11 millimeter
shaft.
for the main brake line that goes into the caliper. One with the crush washers is 15. I mean, not 15. Excuse me, 11 millimeter.
We have the carrier bearing. This right here was the original failure point on that drive shaft over yonder. And they just wrote it out too long.
12 millimeter.
And then the whole thing fell out. You guys saw that earlier. So anyway, let's get this thing unboxed and unpacked. And we're going to get her set up.
I lost the bolt. Oh, it's right here.
After we get the seals and whatnot installed. But first, I need to verify that this, in fact, is the correct component. The reason I say that is there are 3 different part numbers, and I had checked all 3 part numbers. This is supposed to be the appropriate one, but we must confirm such things.
Got 13.
Because if I try to install this and it's the wrong one, I will be like, not a happy camper. So, you see that has a master spline there. See how there's one spline groove missing?
T30 is for the
is going to go into the transmission, I believe, and the
brake dampener.
slips into the slip yoke,
What that is.
and then bolts to the flange on the dip. So this
Screw
is
that on
our
first.
flange bolt here. And that means
Screws
this
right on.
is our
Pins right on the thing. And then when it's done,
the
you
slip yoke. And here's the slip yoke.
get that done, spin on there. Hopefully, make sure it's nice and tight.
Made into the USA. Built in the USA. It's not just
Okay,
made.
now,
This thing is built. By the way,
the little side, little wrench right here. Quarter wrench, because
These guys have really been stepping
it's got a
their
T30 on it. I don't know if you can see that. It says
Someone's got to step up in the world.
T30.
Gregory. It looks like you guys are it.
Alright, we're back down below. Here at
and
the
that goes for the
transmission. And I'm preparing to
gotta have
install
that
this
too.
seal so we can install
Put the dampener on.
This drive shaft. Now, I can hear you guys right now.
There's the dampener there.
The little grommet bearing bushing inside of there is destroyed from the drive shaft flopping around. I have put my eyeballs on that bushing inside of there, and I do not see any deformation or irregular wear. Now, I've looked up the ability to source that bushing inside of there, and that bushing is kind of not easy to get. It's not really an off-the-part kind of shelf. They're out there. I can get one, but I gotta call the transmission builder guys.
Never ever use those.
What I'm gonna do, we're
Pressure
gonna put this back together. We'll put the new seal on it. We're gonna shove that drive shaft in there, and we're going to monitor this thing to make sure it's a non-leaker. I do not believe that there's excessive play, because I've already put the old drive shaft back in and checked clearances with my chronometer, and I don't see, again, any kind of damage, deformation, or things of that nature. So I do believe that we're okay to continue to use that sleeve inside of there. If not, if it turns into a problem, I'll take the drive shaft back off, and then we can we'll put that sleeve in there. But as it stands, for right now, it's going to stay the way that it is, and that's just the way that it's going to be. So it's fine. Don't worry about it. If it's not fine, I'll fix that later. Sound good? Sounds good to me. So, here's our seal. Now you notice it has this big old honking dust boot thing on there. So we can't just stick this on and just hammer it on traditionally, because the hammer will hit the rubber and smash it and break it and bend it. Then it won't be much of a seal now, would it? So what I shall do, we're going to utilize this very large socket right here, in part because I do not have a bearing seal press that is going to fit over this appropriately. So we will use this instead, and shove the seal inside of the socket. See that? So now I can use the socket to drive the seal on, and we'll do that with a linear impact drive. All I gotta do is just kind of tap it in. Just tap it in. Do that. Booyah. Seal is installed. Good to go. Now, back her up some. We'll get the drive shaft, the front section. We'll hang it hanging the carrier and the bolts up there, and then we can work on the rear section once that flange arrives from the purpose. So real quick, let's take the front side of the drive shaft. And it goes without saying this thing is equipped with brand new U-joints and whatnot. We're gonna go ahead and get this guy inserted. Yeah, look, see that? There's like no shaft plate right here. This thing's all set. So no worries on any bushing damage. So we've got the shaft in. Turn around here. Hope you guys can see because I can't see what you can see. But take the carrier. Carrier bearing, midship bearing, many different names. It holds the drive shaft up. We're gonna take this guy, bolt that on. Okay, that's in position. Now, I will grab impact. We're gonna tighten those bolts down some, and then we'll test fit the second side of the drive shaft. Okay, we've got a 14mm wobble extension. Handle it. Slippage. We have slight problem. The problem is that bracket's a little bent. Not a lot, but a little bit. That's the other side looking. That's not bent. Okay, I need to bend that bracket flange business quite a bit actually to try to level this out. It's at its goofy angle. It's not a horribly major problem because there's a lot of rubber in that bushing inside of there. But it ain't right. Alright, so here, let me get you guys a little closer. You see that bend right there, that nasty little dent? That's causing a deformation of the bottom. Well, 14mm. And the thing's running sideways. So I'm going to apply the use of an actual linear impact driver right here. That's a anvil on the end of a pneumatic Arctic Cat air hammer right there. So we're going to use that to throw on some hearing protection so I can hear. And get the air line out right so, like that, and then we'll go. Fire it up. This should make light work in this situation. Loud noises. Caution you headphone people. Working? Dude, it does. I can see a fan.
Broke it off.
A little better. Alright, it moved and I got a little straighter. So, let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, for my eyeball, it's still not exactly correct, but I sort of think I have a solution to help out. So we need to get this area just tweaked this way a little bit. This bolt is at an angle back, so it's not exactly in line. Now I have here a wrench, and it's a Stanley wrench from Walmart. I have no idea why I did what I've done to it. I had to make a tool for something once upon a time, so I used this sacrificial wrench.
I'm going to try to use this again to get the appropriate leverage up here on that piece of steel to kind of straighten it out. So what we'll do is we'll jam this guy in there like so. And then I'm going to come in with a big long 12-foot pry bar. Go through the middle of the wrench there. This is super risky and sketchy. And we're going to try to bend this. It's not working. I'm going to try to bend this so I can bend that piece of steel. See what happens? We're either going to bend the steel or we're not, right? Looks like I'm just bending the wrench. Not the steel. Let's try something else here. There. And I went too far. We'll bend it back. Went too far again. We'll bend it back. Yeah, let's try that. At least now the bolt is facing vertically. Let's see what happens here. There. Okay. I do believe that will be sufficient to maintain a straight line. It's not perfect, but it's not also running at an angle like that. So I think we're good there. Now, I need to take this flange off of the rear disc here and track it for replacement. Okay, next, let's go ahead and pull this nut off here. Got a 1 1/16 socket.
Dog Chow's mission of life-saving PTSD service dog for every veteran in need.
Don't let rust ruin your ride. Save big on replacement panels today. Thousands of panels in stock for all makes and models. Got safety protocols? Granger has the Safety Pros 2 call. Shop our vast inventory of safety products at Granger.com. Call, click, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Those know Sundays hit different when you earn them.
Ready? It's Saturday. Dave's ready. Hey, George's ready. Miles ahead of you. We flying, Dave. Let's go.
Plenty of runtime, and it's even got turbo.
That's what they call me in college.
No, they didn't.
They call me a lot of things, different things.
We'll take it. We got a Sunday to earn.
We help you tackle that project by Saturday so you can earn your Sunday with Lowe's.
See the ceiling we discussed earlier? That's the business right there. That's our cause for our leader. So now we can pull the flange out of this unit here. So I'll do that with a 3-jog puller. It's not really designed for differentials, but it works very well in this particular instance. I've used this puller before for this exact same thing. And if it works, it works, right? I could have done that by hand. That came right off. That was I thought it was going to be a little worse. They're usually harder to get off. Look at that ceiling there. That thing's cross-chromatic. That's nasty. Yeah, that's all rusty and deformed. We got a new one. Alright, back to chiseling. We're going to get behind the lip on that seal. Chisel the daylights out of it. Whip them out. got it. There she is, nasty seal. Goodbye. Remove. Disconnected. Uninstalled. Contaminants. Yeah, that's good. We've got some compression here. We're going to blow this area out in case any rust particles have entered, and then we can get the new seal in position. Okay, now screwing around. This is good to go. Let's get the seal on. So this will go a little easier than the other seal up front, and it'll go easier than the removal. You can just kind of tap it on in there. I probably shouldn't have said that, because every time I say stuff like that, it doesn't work out in my favor. Murphy's Law, you know? Yeah, see, now it's not happening. That big stop it. Insert foot in mouth now. Begin foot insertion procedure. I should have known. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah,
All right.
bigger hand.
I just put some DOT-3 brake fluid
One good hit would be better than multiple little
right there inside the thing.
hits, you know.
I'm fixing to go in and start this thing. And just so you can see, remember, 13 millimeter,
Not going in straight though.
15 millimeter, 13 millimeter. I broke that off, but that's a 12 millimeter. And is it right? 12 millimeter? Yeah, 12 millimeter. And then that's a 12 too, I think. Yeah, that's a 12 for the main brake. There. All right, we're gonna go pump them up and see what we got. Hopefully they work. Iron Guys Garage. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, and God bless. I know this is getting to be long, but I'm gonna go in there and see if we can get these brakes pump up.
Warning, do not actually do that. You should not be doing what I just did. Don't do that. Okay. So we also have a new flange. It has fluid from leaking its way past the threads and contaminating and leaking out, right? At least that's what they say. Now, what we can't do is just send this thing home and then we're good. There's preload to worry about. Remember preload? Not bottomed out yet. Okay, no motion, forward and back.
I hope they're working. tires on it. See, well, maybe shut the engine off. It just smoked me out of here with some exhaust fumes. That should be the end of it. Oh, and that's where you put your brake fluid in at, right there, right by the battery. I may have to bleed these brakes later. Maybe later. They go to the floor, so I might as well bleed them. They don't go all the way to the floor, but they go to the floor. Anyways. Thank you for subscribing and liking. Welcome to Iron Ghost Garage. Like, subscribe, share, whatever you need to do. Working on a 2011 Ford Edge, doing the rear brakes, rear brake pads. That's what we're doing. 2011 Ford Edge, 3.5.
Well, since you submitted the super chat. Billy Rice, what's up? 4 months as a member. Says thanks, Tony Hay. He's to Tony Hay, 4 months as a member. Are you bringing those memberships together there, Billy Rice? Courtesy of Tony Hay. What's going on, Chubby? Over on Local says, I don't trust Sondland one bit. I sure hope Trump doesn't either. Feels more to me like he's just trying to weasel his way back into the Trump administration just to be a snake again. He testified against Trump in a blatantly bogus impeachment. No opinion, no coming back from that in my opinion. Impeachment is serious. It's not like a guy just gossiped to the media. You're right about that. No, you're right about that. Yeah,
right, so,
like he's not going to ever be an ambassador.
Takes a 3/8 inch socket to remove this right here brake cable, and then it takes 15 millimeter to remove the is it 15 or 13? I think it's 15. Yeah, 15. Well, it might be 13. Hold on. 15 or 13. A 13 to remove the top bolt, and then for the you got a dampener here, supposed to help with squealy brakes or whatever. That is a T30 Torx 30. You have to remove the dampener in order to get the brake pads away from the thing. So, yeah. So, removed this 3/8 inch bolt that holds the brake cable for the emergency brake on, and then 13 millimeter top, a T30 Torx for the dampener, and you should be able to get the brake pads off from there. Now, what I noticed on the other side, I did the other side already, so this is the second side, the passenger side, and that piston has to be turned clockwise for it to go inside the caliper. Using a C-clamp will not do it. I tried it. Alright, so move on back over here to the table. See what I'm doing here. We're going to go ahead and get that stuff off there. 13 thing. We're going to
is here.
Well, I gotta get the
Backseat driver, what's up? This person named DCF sleeps with tarpon brown shirts for cases. In the house on the med road. Jimmy Baker, what's up? We've got various D's here. And the gift gem in the house. J.K. James Bond, three-finger play, Paul Portugal in the house. And
Torque 30 T30 Torx. You have to remove that to remove this dampener.
And welcome aboard, new friends. Very nice to have you. We got Carolina Graham in the house. Carolina Graham became a supporter. Great to have you, Carolina Graham. And DCF Sleeps says, love your show, Rob. The salt is getting deep. Really? In the house. I don't even know what this name is. DCF Sleeps with. I don't know what that is. Who's DCF? I don't know. A government agency? All right, Sheila the Pooh, what's up?
You gotta take a
Sheila
little,
the Pooh says,
little
let Dunny
orange or a little red or yellow or whatever boot that goes over the torch thing here and make sure lay this stuff down with some Freol. So we can get everything, no issues here.
Sean Cupwater, Miss Endball, you did what this year? And Ava Angel.
We got this torch bit here.
Sheila Pooh, a million hugs to you. Bring it in. We got this one from Knox. Says, I donated to Desert Davos on the GoFundMe page. Nice group, Robert. Thank you, Knox. So awesome. So Knox, hopefully you can join us tomorrow. Yeah, so grab a ticket, make a donation, and come over and support the board. You can see it's a lot of work to assemble all these people together. And so we're a lot of good people will be there. And I'll be excited to see you there. Thanks, Knox, for supporting that.
Taking the dampener off first. It's on the bottom
Legal thing on the conservative side.
bolt, bottom bolt for the remove the caliper.
Smash that like button.
That is a T30. T30.
Sheila knows what you're
Okay.
talking about. It's good advice. Hey, Russ, what's up,
Have
Russ?
to give me another light. This one's dead.
Great to see you. We'll see you on the members on the stream tomorrow. Patriot Rob says, do you realize Kamala still has to certify the election whether or not she wins or loses? Yeah, right. Well, for leader, she's the president of the Senate. It'd be the same kind of reverse situation as Pence.
All right.
Which will be a lot of fun. Object Class Peter says a T win.
So
H would be
that right there would be a 13
to certify their loss.
millimeter.
Harris would be, yeah, is that right? So, yeah, I mean, Pence obviously wasn't running for his re-election, but he had to certify Trump's loss, which sucks. But, yeah, that's interesting. Good to see you free speech. Although, kind of happens, I guess, every election, right? Somebody's certifying
There we go.
somebody's loss. Free speech or victory. Free speech says, thank you, Bobby G, over on Rumble. Says, it's going to be so sweet to watch Stamela announce her own defeat in the Senate as VP. Love from Denmark. Amazing. Thanks for watching from Denmark. Shout out to our friends in Denmark. Love that. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be good for the country and the world.
There we go.
Sheila Pooh, 10 more members.
Had to get it off that
Coming in.
thing.
Atlas
That is the top bolt.
Pat Hacker, John Gifford, Membo, Luke's here, Valerie W, Bill Straits, we got Kathy Bentley, Rick and Bobby's here, Jolly Joe Mama, we
Piece of
got
shit.
Joycey JD.
Gonna have a
courtesy of Steel
buy script.
Million hugs to you. Thank you, Sheila, and welcome aboard. New friends. Song Sarge says Clavicle Girl got paid for a book deal as usual. She may have dolled herself up, but there's not a personality transplant available yet. Fight the good fight, Rob. Thank you, Sarge. We're on it. We're on it. Yeah, the book deal. Okay. Anyone's reading her book? I'm sure it's very exciting. Will she be the reading of it? Oh my gosh. Bedtime stories. Marlene Stewart, Membo for 15 months. Says Harry Walls gets elected. What happens to freedom of religion? Freedom of religion.
Trying to get it wrong.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, the First Amendment's already under attack. They're raiding Catholics and stuff like that. You protest abortion, you get incarcerated. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a new area of attack. Certain religions will be allowed or promoted by the government, and others will not. I think you can see where that will go. What's going on, Elvis of Dallas? Good to see you, Elvis of Dallas in the house. Bringing in 10 new members. Thanks, Elvis, for doing this. We got Chuck Ward. What's up, Chuck?
There we go.
Jason Everidge, Emmett Bishop here. Dana Bell, Philip Darden, Smokestack Lightning, Rachel
There you go.
Wagner. William
I don't know where my channel locks are, but
and
there's a
Lana online in
rubber
the house.
boot right here
James Butler, shout now.
on this caliper.
Thank you, Elvis, for bringing
There
in
is a
new
rubber
members.
boot.
Hey, Liddy T. Have
No,
a great day, Liddy T. We love you. Bringing in 5
Spray.
members.
A
William
rubber
Lyon,
boot, and
Tom
you don't want to rip the boot
Vinny Troop,
on this caliper. You really don't. You just want
Thank you for bringing them in and being a member yourself. We got Sheila Pooh. Says there is more redacted than is left readable. The good stuff, for sure. All the good stuff was redacted in that one. Which was a bummer. Patriot Rob says, just watch the special with Glenn Beck. 99% of all people on the terrorist watch list or let go are let go into the country. I think that they don't even have functional control. It's kind of just a facade.
Remember, you don't want to.
Control in name only.
You don't
CF
want
Rob on Bumble says, I came here legally. I don't get why the government opens the border. Let all kind of illegal peoples come to America. It's dangerous for the citizens. What a stupid government. This is from a legal immigrant. We do have a stupid government. So good observation. This old guy on local says, I'm 75 years old, born and raised in Texas. My driver's license expires on my
Don't
next
want to hit
birthday.
that.
So I'm
Just
required
don't
to
want
prove
to
my
fucking
citizenship by providing a
fucking
certified birth certificate or valid passport to the DMV before my next birthday. This must be accomplished by appearing for an
Oh
official
boy,
person
don't tell
to
me
present
that
these
hurt.
documents in order to renew my driver's license or to convert it to a Texas ID card. Pain in the butt, except I'm happy to comply and proud that my state takes this seriously. Yeah, that is a lot of work. And thank you for doing that. Yeah, thank you for doing that. We want you to vote. Obviously, we want you to keep participating in that. But yeah, it's a lot of work. And ideally, our government would be more competent so that they wouldn't have to do that. We'd share some data so we know, that who you are and stuff like that. Or alternatively, that we didn't have a monster.
See what I'm doing here?
Problem, so that
Very, very difficult to turn it. You only got very much grip onto it, that's for sure.
10, 15, 20, 30 million people who should be here. But thanks, this old guy. And good inspiration for those who are maybe out there trying to register. That's kind of a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt, some of this stuff, but we got to do it. And thank you, this old guy. Grip Van Winkle, says, got some melodic instrumentals for you if you like. Wish You Were Weird, 1864, etc. on my YouTube channel. That's awesome, actually. I love instrumentals. Melodic instrumentals. I like music with no vocals. So that sounds great. Grip Van Winkle. All right, Jennifer says, Newsom has banned requiring IDs to vote, Robert. What do I do? Well, I think you still have to vote. Are you in California? You still have to vote, obviously. So I guess we're the same thing. And just went to the store in California. I guess that's all you can do. You're in California, Jennifer? No, good to see you. Yeah, California's the best. Bill Trump says, what actual crimes can Dems be charged with and convicted of? If Trump is elected, he gets a rock-solid conservative AG with balls to pursue charges. Oh my gosh. I honestly, the same charges that they hit him with in many cases. Just flip that around on them. Like there's a massive conspiracy to weaponize the government against them so they can charge them with a RICO case. And just do it, manage it. But there's conspiracy against rights, like we talked about some of those other possibilities, but I think there's no end to the charges. Many conspiracy charges.
Oh boy, don't be hurting that thing.
And perversion.
Boy, don't be fucking up.
Thank you, all. Les L says, Robert, in Cobb County, YouTube clicks still get deceptive error ads. The Trump plans national sales tax, costing $4,000 per thing, but Harris will reach across the aisle. We need counter ads here. Yeah, really, he says, I've been getting a ton of Kamala ads here too. They're spending money, they're spending big money. It's all over Arizona, we're getting blown up with them too. Ella says, remember Real ID? I was forced to get one because of my work. But the voter ID is an issue? Yeah, well, they want ID for you, but not for the illegals or something. Thank you for that. We got Les L. From the Republican PAC press. Sure, thank you. It'd be a shame to see a red wave turn into a sloppy pink phone in Georgia and lose everything here via a weak ad campaign. All right, listen up, Republican PACs. Get your act together and run some better ads for crying out loud. You're driving Les L crazy. Hopefully that does something, Les. I hope they figure it out over there. John Allen says, not much to say. Thanks, John. Don't know, just because I love you, brother. Thank you, John Allen. We love you back. Thanks for seeing you. Good to see you, John. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. It's nice to see you. What's up, Tammy Clayton? In the House became a new supporter. Welcome aboard, Tammy. We'll see you tomorrow morning in our members only morning stream. We got Acid Burn. Rob, is there a chance martial law can be called to stop an election? I mean, less of a crazy thought, the closer we inch to World War III, and something happens or some sort of attack, some sort of global war. Yeah, that could be a possibility, sure. Hey, this old guy says in a joint statement, the United States Maritime Alliance, or USMX, and the International Longshoremen Association said that two sides have an agreement to extend their current label contract through January 15th and continue to negotiate. All right, good. So that's coming to a close. That's good. That's good. Get the ports back in order. Robert, thank you for the details on that. This old guy. Robert Leba, what's up? New supporter in the house. It's great to see you, Robert. Welcome. We got Object Class Peter says the other two VPs I referenced are Nixon and Gore. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are good ones. Hey, Ollie says, Membo for 3 months. Can you give a breakdown of what you expect for the J6 trial? Kind of a big question here, Ollie. Yeah, rigged. I expect it to be rigged. What's up? John Allen says, darn it, wrong dono amount, but we fixed it. Thank you, John, for the correction. I'm happy to have a second corrected dono. It's very nice of you. I appreciate it. It's one of those mistakes that I'm not upset about at all. Rob says, okay, the idea of Kamala Harris getting the decision of the win of the president gives me a bad reminder of Secretary of State of yelling, Arizona, certifying herself as governor. Katie Hobbs. Hopefully I did that justice, Rob. Hang one in the house, gifted a memo to Crypto Beauty in the house. And we love our crypto. We got, what's up, Crypto Beauty? Welcome aboard. Hang one, thanks for doing it. And bringing in 5 more. Rooster Cogburn is here. Kid Seville. Jesus Street, welcome. Blind Dog-Faced Pony Soldier is now a member of our community. Welcome. And King Jackie in the house. And Les L.
Come on.
Says Les L said, hey, thanks for the yell, Robert. Maybe you can find a few ears to whisper into at the Democracy Conference. We're sleepwalking here in Georgia. Well, Les, I would love to see you. So the event tomorrow is going to be in the chat, right? It's going to be a Zoom meeting, so in the chat, maybe you can ask some questions. I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
Stuff. So tomorrow I'm talking about the Bragg case and where we're at there, and maybe we'll talk about some other stuff too in New York. But yeah, so that's what we're talking about. But certainly, we keep screaming about it. And Knox is here saying, I see tons of
Come
Kamala
on, I
ads.
need to get my
Right? Knox has been burning this too. I see
fucking
tons of
bitch.
Kamala ads, no Trump ads. I do not have a TV, only watch podcasts and not video right-wing places. What does that mean? It's a great question. I think less
It's gonna
help.
fucking work.
Flag for it, but, you know, really raise some
Don't know
alarm
if it's
bells.
gonna fucking work.
I don't know that the PACs are gonna listen to us or what their strategy is, but I'm noticing the same thing. I mean, I see it. I don't have cable either. I have, just screen and listen to the same thing that you guys do. But when I'm at the gym, I see it all the time. It's just Kamala ads, constantly. Kamala ads, abortion. So, I mean, hopefully the Republicans have some sort of plan on that, because they are getting that seems like, for sure. So, yes, Les, well, I'll continue to pound the table on that. But tomorrow, too, we're looking at the burners. Knox, good to see you. Rick is here. What's up, man? Rick D. Bringing in new members. I'm T-Treat is here. E.T. shouting out. Head Cat videos. We got William Shawley, Black House Cavalry, and Cameron gifted members in the house, courtesy of Rick D. Thank you, Rick, for bringing in new members. And my friends, such generous donos today. Thank you so much for sending all of those in. Let's say hello to our friends on X before we go over to locals for our members only after party, which is where we like to hang out, debrief, see if we've got any additional comments to attend to over there. We do have a couple of people on X saying what's up. What's up? What's up, Fred Pedamonte? Says, Rob, your analogy of he went home versus he fled the scene was one of the best I've ever heard. Thank you, Fred. Yeah, it's a good one, right? It's the same conduct, but you can conjugate it differently. Right? And the same thing, but how you say it makes all the difference in the world. What's this? Essential Bites says that anyone wanting to know what it means and what they are hiding behind the curtain, you should look at Watching the Watchers. 10 out of 10 stars. Thank you, Essential Bites, for knowledge in an enthusiastic, entertaining way. Thank you for that, Essential Bites. Very nice compliment. And here's one from Beatorn. Trump's lawyers sorting through Jack Smith's 165-page court briefing. Basically what it looks like from the team. Jack's crazy conspiracy theory. Maybe he'll get something from Chuckin on it. Hey, what's up? Yeah, Les L just said this one. It says, I think it's the Kamala Gilbert ads that are the worst. A big lie, but independents may believe it. Also effective, counter possible, but it's just not getting done. Yeah, I see it. I see it here. I see her abortion ads, and they look not good. And you're gonna die. All these women. I'm like, oh gosh, the woman after one after one. So it's gonna be on the ballot here in Arizona, is my understanding. So we're gonna have some abortion stuff. And that's my concern about the plausibility argument, is they can come back after the election and say, well, nobody liked Trump, but they really like abortion. And they got all these things on the ballots, and it was the women, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, it's going to be too big to win. People are sick and tired of the broken economy, the ongoing wars, and the incompetence. And so I think they want a serious change. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, my friends, Les, thanks for that last one coming in. Very nice to see you. And we are going to leave it there, my friends. It's going to be a beautiful day. One final plug. Come join us at Defending Democracy Conference tomorrow. Links are in the description. Go get a ticket. It would be awesome to see you there. I think this stuff's important, and this is a good group. I've spoken with David. He's doing good work. Obviously, we know Rachel. She's awesome. We know a lot of these other people, like John Eastman, and they're out there trying to speak and to help get the word out about our corrupted government. So we're excited to be a part of it, and looking forward to having you join us over there. Tomorrow is the day. It's going to be going on all day. Membos, if you're a member, we're going to do our morning street and then go over there. So come check it out. But that, my friends, is going to be it for us on the day here. We have this one come in from I Am Divine Creation. Says, how are the Hareen supposed victims, how are the victims supposed to vote now? Yeah, that's a great question. And we released a segment on that. I think we talked about it on our members stream at some point, but there are actual provisions in the law that allow them to vote, provisionally speaking, if they can get there, right? That's the thing. It's like, well, that's nice if they can vote, but they don't have a house or a car. So how are they going to get there? It's a real thing. So it's going to depend on, I think, a case-by-case basis. It's a hierarchy of things, right? Got to be able to survive before you cast a vote. So we're hopeful that they are able to recover quickly, and of course, sending our prayers and our support their way. What's up? Keith O is here. He says, "Do you guys see James O'Keefe just released the OMG Undercover, where the MSNBC producer said that they were just an arm of the DNC?" No, I did not see that, but I am not surprised. This sounds about right. And David D, what's up, David D? Thanks for becoming a supporter. It's great to see you. We'll see you on the members-only stream tomorrow, and we're looking forward to that. But okay, my friends, that is where we will leave it on the day. It's been a beautiful Thursday. Thanks for joining us as we go through this stuff. Some of it was pretty fun, fresh out of the oven too. You know how much we love that. So tomorrow we are going to come back here to get into it all again. Members, we'll see you in the morning, and we'll see you, my friends, if you join us at Defending Democracy tomorrow in the morning there as well. Otherwise, my friends, we are going to be back here tomorrow to get into it all again. Before we wrap it up, I want to thank our amazing mods. We have the best mods. Donut, really flipping for us hard today. John McCarthy, Carrie B, KB in the house. I saw plenty of you out there, and we got the best mods. Thank you guys for all your help. Well, my friends, That is where we're going to leave it on the day. We are coming back here tomorrow to get into it all again. And in order to do that appropriately, we're going to need to see you right back here so that together, with your help, we can shine that big, beautiful spotlight of accountability and transparency down upon our system with the hope of finding justice. Make it a beautiful night, my friends. Sleep very well. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
One place looking at starting the film is when President Trump goes to the Justice Department to speak at the Great Hall. What is he doing in that moment? What does it represent for you?
It represents for me that he beat the Biden lawfare and election interference over the last 4 years. The Biden administration, along with their allies in New York and Atlanta, threw everything they had, and elsewhere, frankly, threw everything they had at President Trump. They tried to throw him in prison for life 4 different times for non-crimes. They tried to bankrupt him for non-fraud. They tried to take him off the ballot in Colorado and Maine, and I think they even tried to take off his
Alright, got it off.
President Biden intentionally underfunded his
I don't know if
protection and then said that they
now,
wanted to put a bullseye on him.
I don't know for sure
Threat
this thing's gonna go on there because it ain't flat.
So, for
Trying to get
President
it on
Trump's
anyways.
return to the White House and then his visit to
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Iron Ghost Garage.
What did he see in the Justice Department? As you said, you've been prosecuted by
Hoping that this Caliper is still good.
How did he see the Justice Department, or how do you think he saw the Justice Department when he went there that day?
I haven't asked him how he saw the Justice Department, but I think I would imagine that he saw the Justice Department as a place that needs to be reformed. It has been politicized and weaponized. It started under Obama. It was on steroids under President Biden, and we have seen for 8 years this Justice Department politicized and weaponized against President Trump. His top aides like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro, who went to prison, his supporters on January 6th. This Justice Department went after parents who were outraged by gender chaos in schools and the resulting rapes in high school bathrooms. This Justice Department targeted Christians, including putting a 75-year-old pro-life Christian in prison for praying at an abortion clinic, while this Justice Department turned a blind eye, gave amnesty to Biden and his corrupt family. They failed to prosecute BLM and Antifa and Hamas. It's inexcusable how this Justice Department was politicized and weaponized, but frankly, it was a big reason that President Trump won the 2024 election.
So what was the message there that day? What was he saying? And with that as the backdrop about how it's going to be different?
This whole unitary executive theory that Democrats think is a theory is not a theory. It's Article 2 of the Constitution of the United States. The President of the United States runs the executive branch. He has the executive power under Article 2, and every department and agency reports to the President, including the Justice Department.
So you're saying that the message that he was giving there was, you work for me?
I don't know what message he was trying to portray, but that was the message that I would give if I were President Trump after experiencing 8 years of lawfare before that, there was a new sheriff in town, the American people elected President Trump back into the White House, and that Justice Department works for President Trump, and there's going to be much needed accountability in his second term, and I hope there are severe, and I mean severe, legal, political, and financial consequences for a politicized and weaponized justice system.
I mean, and for the critics who say in that speech, you know, he singled out individual people like Norm Eisen or Andrew Weissman, he calls them scum, and that isn't the type of thing that a president should do at the Justice Department. What do you make of that?
I don't care. They are scum, and nobody's above the law.
So do you think that the message is, or is your message that, you know, we're not going to forget what happened? We're not sort of going to move on?
There's no chance. We're not going to turn the other cheek this time, and we shouldn't. President Trump, his top aides and his allies experience republic ending, unprecedented republic ending warfare by Joe Biden, his Justice Department, and their allies. It took our country to the brink, and they almost succeeded in putting a former president in prison for the rest of his life, bankrupting him, throwing him off the ballot, taking off his head. That's what you do in third world Marxist hellholes, and we're not going to let America become a third world Marxist hellhole. Yes, there must be accountability for what happened.
Let's go back to the first day in office and that first moment when he's signing a number of executive orders. He's at the Capital One Arena, and then he goes back to the White House, and there's a number of them. A lot of presidents signed executive orders on the first day. He did in his first term. Was that day different than other presidents? Was that different than President Trump's first term?
President Trump, the first time he ran in 2016, had never run for office. He had never served in office. I don't think he was as ready to lead the first time as he was this time, and that was very obvious. He was ready to lead on day one. He knew he made mistakes in his first term, including personnel mistakes. He's not going to make those same mistakes.
So, help me just understand the breadth of executive orders, executive actions that happened that day, and how do we make sense of all of those different things that were going on?
President Trump ran on very specific campaign promises that he's gonna hire Elon Musk. He's gonna set up the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. He's gonna reform our government to make our governments work for real Americans and real Americans instead of the other way around. He's gonna secure our border. He's gonna get illegal immigrants, including dangerous terrorists, the hell out of our country. And President Trump is doing the unthinkable in Washington. He's actually delivering on his campaign promises to the American people, and he's doing it very fast.
And from a sort of legal perspective, you talked about the unitary executive theory. There's a number of these actions that, you know, critics will say that wasn't legal, whether it's birthright citizenship or creating DOGE or other things. I mean, is he coming in sort of intentionally pushing the boundaries of his power, testing it or asserting it?
Yeah. You call it the unitary executive theory. I call it Article 2 of the Constitution. The president has the executive power, all the executive power. Congress writes the laws under Article 1. The president executes those laws under Article 2, and the Supreme Court and the lower federal courts decide cases and controversies under Article 3. Cases and controversies of the parties before the court. President Trump is not stealing legislative power from Congress. He's not stealing judicial power from the Supreme Court. He's exercising core Article 2 power. And he has not only the right to do it, he has the duty to do it.
Well, was it intentional that he was going to assert those powers, which maybe he didn't in the first term fully, or other presidents might not have, that was laying down a marker in those first actions?
He came ready to lead on day one. He came ready to deliver on his campaign promises on day one.
Can you help me understand the process that might have gone on behind the scenes? When we talked to Steve Bannon, he said that he talked about a meeting where the president-elect said, you know, that's not enough, I want to do more, and he referred to you as the viceroy and said you were sort of integral to setting up this president. Can you help me understand the process that led to that day one? What was going on behind the scenes in either the days or years leading up to it?
I've been very public with what I've advocated President Trump to do. I put it on X, right? And I do it. I say it very publicly in my media hits, and I don't say anything privately that I haven't said publicly. So President Trump should be bold. He should be fearless, and he should save this country. We have been in decay for a long time. Economic decay, our middle class is getting destroyed. Real Americans and real America are losing their jobs to overseas trade deals with big corporations that benefits. President Trump's going to fight every day for real Americans and real America. Like, you know, where I came from Iowa, my friends and family back in Iowa, he's fighting for people like that.
Do you have a sense of how much work was done behind the scenes to lead to those all of those actions and orders that happened on the first day?
I mean, I think it was I think that they were planning to govern on day one for a long time.
God damn it!
They've been working on these issues for a long time, long before
you might have been
day one.
And was that was another place where it was different than the first term? Did they come in ready to go faster?
This time, did they come in? Yeah, of course. I think Susie Wiles is a fantastic chief of staff at the White House. She is very well respected by President Trump. People in the White House respect her, people on the outside like me respect her. And she is no BS. And she runs a tight ship, and she's delivering.
Fucking come on!
A staff.
Jesus fuck.
She's delivered a staff that's executing very well for President Trump.
How important is Stephen Miller in the White House?
I think he's very important. He's the deputy chief.
You're not gonna be going to work tomorrow, Sean.
The point man on immigration. He's involved on all policy.
When we hear, I mean, he's sometimes associated with the term flood the zone. Steve Bannon said it to us years ago in an interview, flood the zone, sort of mud velocity. Do you think that, what do you make of that term? Is that part of the administration's strategy?
I think it's very important
Son of
to
a
be
bitch.
boldly and fearless.
Son of a motherfucking
Get
bitch.
your priorities in place very fast and govern. You have a mandate from the American people. President Trump won 312 electoral votes, all 7 swing states. The popular vote, he has a broad electoral mandate. He kept the House, he won a comfortable margin in the Senate. The American people elected President Trump to lead, and he's doing that.
When you say the administration says too, a lot mandate. When it comes to, that could be in a lot of different areas. It can be in immigration or other things. What is your understanding
Piece of shit.
how they see the mandate? When
What
it comes
a
to
fucking
these
goddamn
issues
piece of
executive
fucking
power,
garbage.
Article 2.
What a piece
I
of
think
fucking
Article 2
shit.
of the Constitution is their mandate. They have the executive power under the Constitution. And that's all the executive power. He doesn't share executive power with multi-member boards and agencies. He doesn't share the executive power with courts. He doesn't share the executive power with Congress. He has the executive power as the president, and he is governing boldly, fearlessly, and decisively.
Do you think part of the reason that President Trump was elected was there was sort of a frustration with government not being able to do things? I mean, immigration is a good example of sort of decades of trying to pass legislation, trying to sort of do things. Was that kind of a frustration part of the mandate to do this kind of action that you're talking about?
Yes, I think that real Americans and real America have seen over decades that the federal government does not work for them. That they work for the federal government, they pay taxes, and the money gets wasted in Washington, D.C. It goes to political cronies. And it's, the government does not promote the common good anymore.
Goddamn break, Caliper, Sean.
Another thing that happens on that first day
Well,
is
again, I tell you, but you're not working tomorrow.
of the January 6th defendants. And some people, it seems like even inside the administration, thought he went farther than they expected, as far as it applying to everybody. What do you think the message was?
Not gonna work tomorrow.
Were you surprised that it was so broad?
There goes Garage. Like and subscribe. This day is over.
I used to
Just
say
fucked up the
that the president
Caliper.
should pardon almost all January 6th defendants and commute the sentences for the ones who were the most egregiously acting that day. And what happened on January 6th was bad. There are 3 categories of people who are there. There are people who are there outside,
Son, you don't work tomorrow. Sorry.
Even if you think they're
Fucking
wrong,
caliper is
even if
broke.
you think they're crazy, they have a First Amendment right. There are people who trespassed, and they should have been charged with trespass. And there are people who are violent, and they should have been charged for arson.
Iron Ghost Garage. Need a new caliper. It was all stuck and it wouldn't go through. I tried to get it off, but it wouldn't come off. Ended up fucking it up.